the host is here. Hi, Lakshmi.
Hello. Hi Shubham. Hi Ashish. Welcome to the event. Sorry, I couldn't join a bit early. I was running late in another meeting. Yeah.
No,
A warm welcome to each and everybody over here. I hope this session will help you in order to gain more knowledge towards the Outsystems mentor. And I thank Shubham and Ashish for joining our event. It is pleasure to have you as a speakers at our event. Okay, so I'll quickly share my screen and then I'll over it to you. I'll give it to you, Shubham. And I hope, yeah, the recording is on. I'll share my screen. Please confirm if my screen is visible.
not yet.
Mm, okay, it should be visible now.
Yes, it is now.
Yes. Again, welcome all of you to the event. Topic of the event will be on the OutSystems mentor, and we have our speakers Shubham and Ashish. So, as you already know, I am Sri Lakshmanas. I'm the organizer for Bangalore OutSystems community, and I'm working as an assistant manager in KPMG India. So, if you have any queries or if you wish to be a part of our event as a speaker or as a co-host or as a mentor, you can reach out to me over this email, and this is my LinkedIn profile where you can reach out to me for further assistance. And I'll hand over to you, Shubham. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoys the event.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Okay, let me start sharing. Okay, so normally we had a lot of slides which we talk about, but let me directly jump in from uh, our introduction quickly we can give, right? And then we can directly jump into the session. So let me start introducing myself. My name is Shubham Sharma, and I am the organizer of the Pune user group. So if you have joined the Pune user group, you will see me there. Apart from this, I take these sessions also about different topics, mostly on front end, and I work in ZBA as a senior consultant. And we have Ashish with us. So Ashish, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, hello everyone. Myself Ashish Raut. I'm AVP at ZBA, and I have been working as a software professional. It's been a long time, 25 plus years of experience with high code background, and I think I have been associated with OutSystem for last more than 10 years. In last few years has been really exciting as I'm a cloud enthusiast also. So that's all. I still architect involved in the architecture projects. I keep myself updated, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish. So we'll start with the introduction of mentors. So I'm handing over to the introduction part to Ashish, and then we'll go for the demo. Yes.
Thank you, Subham. I hope everybody must have heard this word mentor. And I would like to go back a little bit and trying to give you a background. So basically, many of you might have heard from your higher management already that why can't you infuse generative AI and AI into your application? Because that's the latest trend. Me being a cloud enthusiast, as I said, I also find this ODC and all the development that is happening along with the mentor to be a very it's a big change, and it has put us it has aligned us with the cloud technologies that is already in the market, and at the same time we are very uniquely positioned to be ahead in the race. So So just talking about generative AI and AI, as you already know, that generative AI is a AI, and in ODC we have created a lot of agents. I hope many of you has already worked on that. And also, if you find a lot of connectors, we do everything in O11 also. There are plenty in the Forge where we can use either OpenAI, Azure, or Gemini Provision. We have massively used, many of you have used it just to know the technology. And there has been a big ask about how can we use this generative AI in our application to solve the business problems, right? Now, when I say AI, just to give you a idea how much of work that is there in AI. AI is when you create a model. That model is usually built on ML libraries. Say, for example, if you are doing fraud detection or images, say, for example, so we use a lot of ML libraries, just like, for example, CNN, convolution neural network, to understand the image. So what they do is uh, we train the model. First of all, we write the model using CNN and many other things, and TensorFlow, scikit-learn, and all this thing. We create a program. Say, for example, you are doing from the scratch. It's a model you create in Python because using this ML libraries, then you start training the model with the images, good and bad images. And all of you are programmer. Just to give you a small insight, what happens is this model is converted into numpy arrays, and then this convolutional neural network algorithms run on it, and they try to find a pattern. After all, at the end, it becomes a function of x, which help them to predict the algorithm. Now, why I said all this thing, because when you come to generative AI, so the training part is not there. It's a trained model. So OpenAI has it, a lot of things there. AWS has Amazon Bedrock, and Azure has a bunch of this thing because they have adopted to OpenAI and Gemini. And those are the models, generative AI models we have been using in application to solve business problem. Now, Mentor is an abstraction, I would say. Mentor is an abstraction with all of them. And the innovativeness behind the Mentor is Mentor has been used very carefully, and the platform has been created by Outsystem in such a way that all this generative AI model, and many other tools, and obviously the RAG is there, all those things has been used in the background under the hood, and they collaborate, and they review, and they work together in order to provide a final outcome which can be deployed. Okay, so this is the idea behind Mentor, because we are already in the race where people are every day asking, do you have a generative AI model? Do you have a generative AI model? Have you infused a generative AI model? And this is one step further by saying, uh, we have infused generative AI in the SDLC process. That means it is working as a digital worker and helping us out to ease some of the stages of the development of an application, so that it can be really fast. So that's all about it. Okay. Now there are two major things: are app generator and app editor. App generator is kind of does the heavy lifting. Okay. Say, for example, right from the start, something like, I mean, you give in a requirement, and actually, if we dive a little bit deeper, the app generator, what it does is it just gets you uh, it breaks down a requirement, okay, breaking them down into logical steps. And these logical steps is further uh, mm, understood, and the transition between the steps is being articulated by the generative AI, and the end of the result will be a data model that is getting created. Why we are doing this? Say, for example, this is please understand, this is no POC. I mean, this is the entire application. Depending on what kind of requirement you are giving, the application will be generated. Now, this this is again, you can do it really fast. I mean, by looking at the requirement, if you are front ending your company, there is a requirement then and there itself. I mean, imagine you are a senior professional who is quite capable of understanding the requirement. So it is giving you another arsenal in your pocket. Like, I mean, you can immediately develop something by looking at the requirement. So then this converting, there is one thing people challenge. Okay, I have OpenAI. Say, for example, any of you who has the OpenAI um, Gemini, sorry, GPT 4.0 mini, say for example, you can create a requirement. You can give a prompt by saying, okay, give me the data models for all this requirement. You can get that. Then you do, okay, get me the what is the query for fetching all this data for my dashboard and everything. It can give you. Now, what is the difference here? Here, we the platform is the behind the scene, the engine that is working. It is taking care of, not only because there are lots of hallucination that happens in the AI, generative AI, and it controls that. It makes it very accurate. It uses RAG and everything in order to come up with a solution that is very safe. Because if you have read in many of the documents, that generative AI should be, I mean, it should be safe. I mean, it has a lot of things that is included inside generative AI. Everything is taken care of. So it is a very controlled environment which completely takes care of this. And these models that are getting used by generative AI, that is by Outsystem platform, they are the models that are deployed in Outsystem environment. Okay, so if you can relate, the very first thing I said, you have to create a model. That means that model itself is in the Outsystem premise and background. The data that is being used in the model to be trained, that is also coming from Outsystem databases. That means all the data models, the screens, everything that is being there, that's the source of data over there. And from there it has been generated. Now, this is our generate part, where some level of code is generated and everything. Now, the edit part of this one is every AI implementation has to introduce a human presence over there. That's the way. That means that is the approach. Today, if somebody tells you, okay, why don't you use a generative AI in AI in your application, we know the smarter way of to do that is use generative AI, then make provisioning for a human intervention to see to it, right? I mean, whatever is that, can it be corrected and all these things. So this is what happens in the generate and the edit part. Then the iterate part is, this is very nice one. I mean, if you want to do any changes to the model, so it is going to do a lot of suggestion, AI based. Again, AI is coming into the picture over here. So in your application programming, if you have missed out something and you said, okay, I want to add another data model, then it can ask you the suggestions, the names and the attributes underneath it. So that part is also taken care of. So you can iterate through that application, and that provisioning is there. And for that also, you are just picking the suggestion, the part is being done by AI. Again, these suggestions are done by the AI, which is again uh, mm, has a lot of background knowledge of the Outsystem development. So many years Outsystem has done development. They have a huge amount of code base, and the suggestions are coming from them by the use of AI. Now, um, say for example, embedding of this one is, embedding is, say for as you have as I was telling you before, AI agents which has already been in the ODC environment, where you can immediately augment your application. These are the few agents I want to, and agents are nothing but they are wrap around over the generative AI APIs, and they do a specific set of work. We can add them, so that gives you a level of, another level of automation through AI agents. Because when you speak to somebody now, as of today, if you are going to a customer and say, I have an application and it has a couple of agents to do the work, that making more sense than saying, okay, I have a connector and generative AI and I'm just trying to integrate that. So embedding generative AIs And here in the embed also, if you have heard of data fabric, if you are kind of a, previously in O11 and everything, we said, okay, I want to have database extension from the external database, I can do it. But the current in the cloud world, everybody using some a terminology called data fabric. So that fabric is there in Outsystem 11. So if you want to embed the external database, if you want to get the data, it is not about pulling the data. You can do configure, like, in what is the initial value, what is the default value. I mean, you were defining in the configuration what is going to be when I'm getting the data from there and going from here. So these are the two powerful things that can be embedded to your application that you have developed. In addition to that, uh, we have the events, which is a terrific thing to add loosely coupled processes around the system. And then the most important, then the thing is validate. Now it is not about just developing the code. It is doing all kind of a validation of the code. It is taking care of AI mentor, like, I mean, taking the dependencies. If you have already cleared your architecture thing in Outsystem, we have been preaching about upward reference, side reference, all this thing, right? So these are human thing that we have been doing before, but the code that is getting generated already takes care of this, because, as I said, there are a plethora of generative AI and AI models. They collaborate in order to rectify the problem. So this validation is also coming from the mentor platform, the engine behind it, so that you don't have to take care of that. So that's a part of it. Now, I think Subham is. I would like to give it to Subham. So he's going to show you how we are actually generating this application. Over to you, Subham.
You are on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. So as per the Ashish's introduction about all these parts that are involved in this, okay. So let's see how actually we can do this development. So when we click on this create button, we have both the options now with AI in and with ODC Studio, which we used to do. But when you open this uh, ODC Mentor, which type of application should I create, right? What should I write? What should the prompt? What should the prompt I should write here, right? I don't have any requirement document, right? So what we can do, we can take help of GPT here. Okay. So for your example, I have given a prompt that, okay, give me some applications list, right, with some requirement. Okay, so which I can create. So it has given some lists, like you can create employee onboarding system, inventory management, leave management system, and so on, right? Then we have chosen a leave management system. In this leave management system, then we can ask, okay, here in this leave management system, generate a requirement document, right? So in here in this ODC Mentor, we can ask by a prompt, or we can also upload a document, right? So here we can ask ChatGPT to create that requirement document for us. Okay, so this leave management requirement system document has created by ChatGPT. We can modify it. Whatever things that we need to include, we can add more things into it by asking more questions. Right. Right now, it has given us the user role of administrator, manager, and employee for this leave management system, which will be a very basic system where employees can apply for leave, and then managers can approve their leaves. Right. So a complete requirement documentation is created by ChatGPT for us. We can download this document from here, and this document we can upload it here in our ODC Mentor. So similarly, you can create any kind of requirement document from ChatGPT, and you can upload it right here. Okay. Additionally, if you want to add more fields, like I want to notify team members. Right. So if you want to add more functionality, you can definitely add it in the document. But if you wanted to give a prompt like create this type of design, right, use this color, uh, and all, so you can also prompt that, and then you can hit enter. So this will be the generating part, right, where you can give the document, you can give any prompt, and based on that, it will going to generate an application for you. So what it will going to do in the background, it will going to create a data entities, right? It will give us suggestions. Okay, these entities we can create, and these are the roles which we can use, right? So here, now it is showing that okay, you can use these entities like employees, leave requests, leave policy, balance, and notification. Here we can see in this employee entity, right? This employee entity is coming from an SQL connector that I have, right? So if you have any existing connectors with Salesforce, with SQL, with any other kind of database, you can also use those entities directly, right? Or if you want, you can generate new entities with the help of AI, right? If you want, you can add more entities, or if you wanted to add more roles, you can also do that from here. Like I want an HR role or I want a different role, that also you can add it from here. Okay. Once you're done, then you can go ahead for the generation part, right? And in the meantime, it is generating. Let me get back to the PPT where Ashish can explain you how it works in the background.
Yeah, thank you, Subham. So, what Subham just did is he provided a user prompt and he provided a requirement. And this data he has not provided, but is internally that is supported kind of all the data that we have in our systems. And this is the generate app preview where it is kind of an creating the name and description of the application, data models and roles. I mean, it created it and it is not generated yet. It is giving you a preview. That's what you are doing. And then with the next step is all that you are seeing this application. So this is the generate part, and the edit part is when the user just now what Subham did is he just tried to change the add a new entity to it. Here, a nice one. I mean, people keep adding new attributes to it, and the way you are adding a new role to it. So all these things are internally digested through the AI again, right? Whatever the changes you are doing it over there, they are getting into the data model. So if there is a relationship between them, that has been already, and those are the things you are changing all of this thing. You are the end user is plays a very important role, and in fact, we are going to do that in order to make the application appropriate. Now, the interesting thing I would say, like, I mean, it's not like in something which is generated one time and you are clueless, you cannot do it. I mean, you can repeat it, you can delete all the things and retry again. But what happens is it requires you to be a little bit very constructive in your approach, and you do the changes and then generate application, all these things. Now, this is where actually, because he has clicked the generate application, this is the whole thing that is getting in making basically. So it is creating for the roles, the permissions. If you have already said about in workflow, it is creating that logical workflow. It is creating a dashboard screens and the screen flow from which one to the other one it is going to go. It is creating the sample data and the themes and the model generation. So these are all the activities currently that is going on, and that is being done by a series of AI, those which are collaborating, and they are also reviewing the applications whatever being generated to make sure we do not have any sort of hallucination, but we have the more and very accurate model that we are trying to do. So this is what the whole process is about in generate application. Once the application has been generated, Subham, if your application has been generated already, is it?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see that.
It is still in the process of making, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
Okay.
blank. It is
Okay.
still
It
generating.
is doing. So some people will ask me this question. I'm expecting this is all we are talking about, logic, right? Data model. We are talking about the role. How is the UI? When can we? Because the theme and everything that is there, that is in out system, like what can the kind of a theme that I'm getting? They are very basic theme, and when it is that going to come up that I can add my theme, really nice. And I think those are the this is at the initial stage, and UI related, theme related customization is going to come up a little bit later. But all that we are seeing over here is, yes, we have the basic construct which is ready, and within a few minutes you heard from somebody and the application is ready. Subham, up to you. Over to you.
You right. So within like in the meantime, Ashish was demonstrating or explaining you how the background it works. It actually created these applications for this application for us, and not just a single screen. You can see so many screens are created, right? With you can see there is dependencies on screen. We have a dashboard screen where we're going to see the complete dashboard. We have employee screen, employee list screen, detail screen, then edit part for leave. Also, employee can do the leave request, right? We have leave policies, leave balances, notifications, and import data. So all these screens are created for us by just giving that requirement document or by giving a prompt, right? And it's not like, as Ashish correctly mentioned, it's not like now I cannot edit it, right? I can edit these fields like in this employee entity, I can see what are the different attributes there, right? We have departments. Let's say I need to add more departments here. We have HR, finance, IT, and sales. We could add more departments here. There's like, say, trading, right? So there could be different departments, marketing, research, operations, training, right? We can add different departments here. So this would be our normal static entity. And here we can add more attributes to or more records to this entity. Now training will also be part of this, right? And we can also see in real time in these screens, what are the changes that happen, right? Let's say in an employee, if I add more fields, like we have name, email, and all, right? But let's say if I add one more fields in this employee entity, okay, when I click here, this AI will also give us suggestions like job title, user role, right? Marketing to department. We can add more like phone number, right? Phone number fields we can add. We can click here, and this phone number fields would be added to this employee's entity. And in real time also, we can see what are the screens that will going to be affected with this change, right? These screens will be affected with this change, right? So we can add, make changes into the data. We can add roles. We can manage roles as well, right? We can preview these screens directly from here as well without publishing it. You can click on dashboard and you can preview the dashboard screen from here, right? Okay. And once you are like, once you know, okay, now it is ready to publish it, okay, I can publish this application. And it's not like once you have made the publish, you cannot do the changes again here, right? Once you have done the publish, still you'll be able to do the changes. Okay, somebody had published an application in the background, looks like. Let me delete a quick application.
In the meantime, you can show the code also for this is a very well structured and well documented code that is also generated where you can do code level manipulations also.
Okay, so let me delete this entity, this application, movies.
The I would
Mhm.
like to say the most
Okay, let's publish.
Hi Ashish and Shubham, Saujanya this side.
Mhm.
By the time you are deleting the application, the way
Mm-hmm.
you modified the entities, or you are saying that we can introduce an additional role also, is
Mm-hmm.
it possible that we introduce an additional screen? Because right now I am able to see one dashboard which seems to be generic across all the roles. What if I want a separate dashboard for administrator where I should be able to export the report and see the report and export the report in Excel? Can that be done here itself, or that needs to be done after publishing within the Odyssey Studio?
Uh, So, let's say if it depends on the entities, right? So, if you have a requirement document, right, and in the requirement document, you are specifying that you need different dashboards of different roles, right? At that time, it will automatically take care of it. But if you want right now in the editing phase, where we are, iteration phase, right? To do it, we can try creating a different entities, right? Here, screen level access we don't have, right? We cannot create screens. We have data label and role access, right? So either we need to then specify it clearly in the document, right, before going into this part. Uh, and other than that, we need to then do it in the ODC studio.
Yeah,
Thank you, Shubham.
just to add to that, like I mean, I have heard a lot of
Mhm.
people, those who are experts on Mentor, they said we are taking the thought process little bit before everything, right? That means
Yeah,
when we are thinking little bit of ahead of time, like what is the feature we are going to give, and second thing, as I said, like I mean, it is very forgiving. I mean, you just delete the whole thing and add a requirement and add those things, and it will be generated again, right? So that level of flexibility you already have. But again, when an application, because all of you have worked and myself has worked in big projects, right? Then you say always there are requirements that is coming after it, right? So you, the things that you can see right now, those are the things you can generate and publish. But definitely the ones that you are going to develop, I mean the features that you never knew before but you are going to add it, obviously they can be added at the code level.
correct. So once this application is generated, you can see the whole application with different screens are generated by just one click public button. And we have sample users also, which we can use for administrator, employees, and manager. Obviously, you can also assign roles to yourself by going into ODC Studio as and with your credentials also you can log in. But we can test with these credentials that is provided, right? We can log in as an employee, manager, and administrator, right? So this full-fledged application is created for us. We can also view that application under this ODC Studio. This leave management application is created, right? So this is the dashboard that we have, where we can see the leave request by department, overview request, right? What currently OutSystems Mentor can do, what it cannot do right now. We're going to talk about that in detail, right, in slides. But if I wanted to see the leave request, or if I need to make a new leave request, that is totally possible. So I can do that right now. I can select the employee for which I need to generate a leave, or it would be a casual leave. What will be the start date, end date? Again, right, there could be some fields which I need to again add it here, right? There could be, okay, now the application is created and I need more fields. So I can go back to this editor and I can add more fields into this leave request entity, and then I can again publish it. Okay, then these fields will be edited. So it's not like you can only create when you're creating the application you can do this addition. No, so whenever, like normally how you do it in ODC Studio, similarly you can open this editor page, and here also you can make the changes. So once your application is published, that after that also you can make changes, and not just the application that is created with OutSystem Mentor. So it's not like only the application that you have created with Mentor you will be able to edit it here. Any application that you have created, any application that you have created, right, like this employee application, suppose I have created it with the help of ODC Studio, I can still able to edit this application into the Mentor if it is published. Okay. So this will be the editor part, and then the generation what we have done. So whenever I raise a leave, right? Whenever I raise a leave request, it will be sent it to the manager, and then manager should be approve or reject, right? So this will be the second phase that we talked about, the iteration phase that we have, right? But we're going to talk about more about code quality, right? And how the code is generated. Is it following the best practice or not? But before that, let's discuss, and Ashish will going to explain what are the current what we can say limitations we have with prompt and everything.
Before we get into that, if I ask you, okay, why don't you do some logging to this application that Subham has created, and I want to know on date and time on the leaves are getting requested, and who is that person, and I want to generate a model, how many times they raise their request, and it has not been granted, and what is the reason behind it. If somebody is going to ask you to develop this feature, how would you go for those kind of thing? Because to me, in Mentor, when you start, it is a paradigm shift, right? The way we have been developing, we are changing our approach. What I have seen people doing it is they will quickly in this application. If we are in O11 and somebody is asking for it, I mean, there are plenty of things. Hey, I have a utility for logging, and we can do that. It's not a problem. I have a component, reusable component, put it in the application. I have an event logger that is already doing and all this thing. We get into that thought process. But the moment you come here, like, I mean, the way you will start thinking like, okay, I can have a log application. It's a separate application. It's a library application. And I loosely couple them through the ODC events. That means this application, the moment it is getting updated in the application, I'm going to raise an event. This is a publisher. And the other application, the log application, is a subscriber to the events. The moment that comes into the picture, then I'm going to log it, and it is entirely loosely coupled. So then somebody will say, okay, I want to can you I have a model, AI model, and how to work with that. Then you will say, okay, if you have the AI model which is already there, my application can embed those things, and either I go for an agent, or you expose an API and for the AI model, and we can introduce that agent into our application and get it done. So the moment, to me, this is the mindset, and this is how we look at solving the problems way faster. When other people are trying to, we always have we know that low code is the hottest thing in the market right now. Then with AI and generative AI, many players, they come into the picture and try to steal the show. And at that point in time, it is very important to change the mindset and try to counter things. Okay, what kind of AI you want, what kind of functionality you want, I can embed it through agent. I can do it over here. I'm completely AI based. So these are the vocabularies, and to be there in your mouth all the time, so that we can be ahead always, right? Okay, coming back to app generator, just quickly on the limitation, can you put it in the okay. So there are certain limits are there, and certain formats of requirements, certain lines of character if you are already using it. So those are kind of going to be improved, definitely. And how big of a requirement you can give. So when it comes to the limitation of size, then obviously you can break down your requirement into some smaller problem statement. You can have different applications, and you can counter those kind of thing right now. And go to the next slide, please. Context, this is very interesting. I hope you also know the concept of RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. This is an approach I can give you recently I've been doing. I mean, I can give you an example that there is an open AI called embedding that converts your entire data, may it be a document or whatever, they convert it into embeddings, which is a vector data. Now you take that, you put it in the Pinecone database, say for example. So all your documents are there. Now, whenever somebody is using a generative AI, say for example, you are kind of a you are using the database of your data, and also you can use other sources data and feed them to your generative AI to give you an answer which is more specific. So people keep trying to, it's a lot of information here and there, and you can use a vector database. You can use other sources, many other sources. You take the data and you can use generative AI on the top of it to get a very accurate thing. So this is how the OutSystem is doing actually for the database source code and all this thing. They constantly use this RAG in order to be extremely accurate about it. So that gives you a context very well. So that's the fact about context, and it has been very robust and done in a nicer way that the context of the requirement, context of the development, everything is well understood. Next slide, please. So full stack generation, as you know, I mean, with all these things, you are already getting data models. This thing, you are getting UI, you are getting data model, you are getting the logic, you are getting your aggregates for the dashboards, and it is getting published already. And not only that, with addition of data fabric, and you can add rest of the other entities over there. So you are completely, I mean, in no way you are less than any full stack generation with mentor. So mentor is not kind of depriving you, rather it is empowering you to consume everything and move on, right? I mean, so it's even more robust now. So iteration, I mean, I think Subham has already added all this thing. I mean, he was changing a couple of things, adding an entity and attributes. Yeah, currently the scope of that is kind of limited, as we know, but it clearly defines what kind of changes that you can do at this point in the app editor. I think some people also ask me, like, I mean, UI, how the UI can be changed. But, this, I think when you are playing with the AI, I mean, it is a process that matures, and you actually need a lot more. Maybe going forward, the way I see it is all different kind of themes and everything will be there. We should be able to choose something and move on with that. uh, and it's a matter of training and UI models and UI, the templates and everything. I'm hoping that is going to be the next step and everything, because I have also put comments about the UI. I mean, this is kind of a very bland thing that we see. How can we have it? It's not there, but it's going to come, I believe. So the best thing I would say, like when the application is up and ready, right? It is no prototype, because I have been front ending and pre-sales or many things also as an architect also. If somebody says something, I mean, it takes time to develop, and you are now empowered to do it then and there, up and running. And whatever the changes they do, you just do changes in front of them, and it starts working. I mean, what do you need? So to me, it is a great empowerment that has happened. Though there are limitations a little bit, that's going to change with time.
Yeah, and
Yes, sir.
when we were talking about Ashish, when you were saying, right, we could have different, say, AI models which we can use. So normally, how we use it, what we do, we use REST APIs, right, and then we pass data, we
Mhm.
generate a request, we give the prompt to the AI model, and then it gives us a response. What they are meant about it, embedding the AI with it by you, what they wanted to say is using this AI agent builder,
Yeah.
right? So this is the tool that we have that we can use to create different agents, and then we can use these agents into the application that we are creating. So we are creating AI mentor application with which we can integrated with. So if we go to the configuration section, we can see different agents which we have built already, right? And we can see the section of data sources, okay? So which is currently loading. But in data sources, now they have added one more function. Let me show you this. So when we click on data source, yeah. So you can see we have three agent which is currently available: Cloud 3 IQ, GPT 3.5, and we have ZPA OpenAI instances. So we can use any of these models. And as for data sources, we can use any data source like Azure AI, Amazon Kendra, right? We can also use a custom connection. But which one I like is this application data, which they have recently launched. With this, now you can pass your application data, your say entities data with AI, and with this data, you can interact with your AI, right? What it does, it allows your agent to talk to the database, right? Let's say I have asked a question to the agent, say, uh, give me the details of order ID 7, right? Or is order ID 7 valid order, right? Any information related to order or any information related to that particular entity, I can discuss it with the agent. And later I can integrate this agent with uh, the application that I'm creating. So from here, we can add the data source, we can select the applications that we have, right? Any entity which is public, you can select that entity right here, like movie genre, person, role, or any other. You can select this as a data source. You can give it a name, like let's say movies data, right? And that data source will be added. So we have three: employees, leave data, and movies data. Now, whenever you are creating your agents or whenever you're using any existing agents, let me show you. So there are a lot of different agents already available, like act as a customer support, act as an employee support, or sales calls summarize, right? So if you're using any existing agents or if you're building your own agent, you can click on that, right? What you need to do, you just need to, you can select different already created different AI models that you have. You can add your own models. You just need to give it a role. Right now, you say you are an AI assistant in a company, right? And we are giving, defining a proper role. You are giving this agent a task, right? And based on that, it will going to respond, right? If I'm going to ask anything related to employee information, it will going to give me a proper response. Now within this agent, this was there previously also, but now we can also add the data source that we have, right? Our employees data, our leave data, our movies data, right? Which will come directly from the entities, right? And if we don't have that data, we can also add data from an PDF file, right? We can upload a file, and from that file also it can say, suppose you have, we are creating a leave management system, right? So suppose we have a leave policy document, right? And there is a query from the employees, okay, can I take this leave or how many leaves that I have, right? So it can definitely read it from the PDF itself, and it can answer these questions directly reading from the PDF file. So we can select the employee records, we can select any data, right? And this agent we can generate. We can save this agent, and the agent will be generated. But now, how can we use this agent into our application, right? And it's very simple. If you click here to see how we can use this agent, what are we going to do? You just need to open the ODC Studio, go to Add Public Elements, right? Select this option called Call Agent and pass the ID, right? So when you are creating an agent, you will get an ID. Let me show you. So when I was creating this agent, we got one ID, this ID, employee support, right? Just pass this ID to that agent and this agent will be added to your application, right? So this way we can add different agents, AI agents into your application.
Imagine, I mean, if you were supposed to use if somebody asks you in O11 to develop this, we know we have a thought process of I want to have a logic. So say for example, somebody, I have to do leave approval. Immediately we go to some aggregates, you write the code and you say you have the if and else logic and everything over there in order to do it. Now what you did right now is you automated a portion. You said, okay, I can figure out this is a role. Okay, somebody can do it, so I can translate that into an agent. And you are empowering an agent, say, okay, this is the data source you need to see, how many leaves are there, if the status is like this, and this is approved, right? You didn't write any kind of aggregates or logic or anything. So you are handling that with the prompts. The moment you come over here, you give the data source and you are doing it through the prompts. So you put the prompts over there. So you are done with that. You are not doing anything else. Now you integrate that. At that particular stage, if you are going to introduce an agent in certain piece of the code, you can call that agent in your code. I think Subham, you have already shown that, right? Have you? How to call the agent to do the work?
Yeah, we just need to make that this will be public, so we can open in ODC Studio, we can add public elements, and we can search for this call agent. Right? This way we will get it as a service action in your application, and we just need to pass the ID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you. This is when you are calling it. Then again, if you want to do it loosely coupled, I mean, you can
yeah,
handle it through the events also. So
sure.
you are done then and there. If the desired behavior is entirely clear in your mindset, right? So this is a great advantage. I think many of you have done, must have participated in Taikai Hackathon. That was actually a couple of months before in the last year. They were kind of trying to find people having innovative ideas of using the agents. But if you have not, you can start using it. I think the agent
Right.
is available on the free environment also right now. Is it, Subham?
Yes, yes, it is available. It is a kind of like a force component. You can install it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because
No, no,
okay,
go
please
ahead, go ahead.
continue.
Yeah,
No, I was just saying, I mean, I have been working with a lot of data teams just 6 months before. Like, I mean, the way people has been struggling with the OpenAI, getting the right kind of data, storing it, and everything. And the moment you come to the agent, they are all kind of abstracted in such a nice way, getting the data source and all this thing. I mean, you are already ahead. I mean, just learn how to use it in your business.
right. So when we are creating this application with OTC Mentor, right, we don't know how but best practices it is using, right? In the background, how it is generating the application. So what about code quality here, right? The code quality should be our top priority, right? So for that also, OutSystem has launched a tool, right? If you are familiar with AI mentors in OutSystems 11, we have something called code quality here, which is powered by Mentor, right? And since Ashish is an architect who has used AI Mentor a lot, so Ashish, would you mind explaining this new code quality and how it is different from the AI Mentor from O11?
Yeah, as I said in O11, when you develop, if you are an architect, you are of your own. I mean, you must can be very careful at the very beginning, but you can be careless towards the end, right? I mean, many things happens, and we just try to mirror what is there in the mentor, and you start, all the security. We have a lot of filters over here. Can you click on that? And it
Yeah,
is kind of a pretty much the same thing: security, performance, maintainability, all the architectural attributes that we need to evaluate our application. And as you said, it is very important security aspect, as you which when you are using generative AI and all this thing and all the things getting generated, luckily you have all these things. Many of the things are already taken care of, right? If you are adding a new code, it is going to show up over here. Can you show some of the warnings which are already
yeah.
there?
So yeah, this is one is from farming application. We have one.
Uh, Basically, AI mentor, it was already AI, right? So it is being used in such a way that it can collaborate with this application to give you all the levels of architectural attributes, what are the errors, and that we can go ahead and fix it. So
Yeah.
we are pretty much aligned there.
Yeah, so there is one like sequence of connected aggregates on get org by user email. So here we might have using multiple aggregates, which is a performance issue, right? You can see it's categorized in performance. And it's a medium kind of warning we are getting. So to see how to resolve it, we can also see this merges the sequence of aggregate into a single aggregate using a join to get all the needed data, right? So from here itself, we can click on open in ODC Studio, right? And it will going to open directly the application and at the place where we are getting this one, right? So this was there in the AI Mentor as well, right? But now since it's powered by AI Mentor, right? The Mentor tool, it's more accurate, right? Into giving suggestions and all. Just a second. Over to you.
Yeah. So it is.
Okay. So what is our vision, right? Let's talk about that. Right? What is the future of this mentor? So right now we can see it's starting up, right? We can create basic application, right, Ashish? But what do you think? What will be the future ahead of us on this mentor tool?
Yeah, to me, as it is a process as AI is also maturing, and I can see applications becoming developed at a very short time. We have this tool. We can. It is very impressive, right? I mean, we can develop things and show the things in a very short time, and cutting down the uh, gaps of spending a lot of time on the SDLC. Then it is empowering us with using n number of connectivity or integrations, because it is already in the cloud. It is already in the cloud. Those of you are already kind of making their hands dirty on the cloud. I mean, you might have done a lot of services. You might have done, like, I mean, a lot of little bit of Python programming, and how to consume things, the kind of a different services that are there. I think it is because we are at this point seamless in integrating in any of the database in the cloud. We are seamless in integrating to any services, generative AI services that is available there. And lucky enough, if you have the, as I said, like even if for fraud detection, you have created of your own model and you have trained it. So we are not saying no to it. We are saying, okay, you have that expertise, you have done it, just expose that API through API gateway and we are done. Like, I mean, we are not, we are completely aligned. And it's like things are falling in place. You just tell us the application and what you are going to need, and my team can within a day or two, I mean, they can show you something that is up and running, right? And it can be more and more meaningful and relevant to be ahead in the race. So it's a must, and we should get into it, I would say, at this point, and not bothering about what is the limitation, because there is a lot of workaround that is there, right? If I today, somebody will say, I'm doing a claims application and I'm reading all the informations and it's not accurate, I mean, why can you do it, and all this thing, you can always give a try, and you can always integrate, you can show the application up and running. It is better to have something running and in the process keep improving. Everybody is forgiving about that. Customer really likes those kind of approach, then trying to come back something really good, and that fine day always shifts from tomorrow to day after tomorrow or something like that. You will be completely out of those kind of trends. So these are all these application that you are seeing. I mean, there people have made it. And uh, if you, I mean, to me, I mean, with so much of experience in development, I was just trying to do some of the application that I have already done. That was, and it amazed me, like, I mean, how quickly that is being done with smaller changes, right? If you have the ODC
Right.
architecture in mind, so you can always try that, right? Take your application that you have developed and the process that you went through, the agony and the pain and all this thing that you have to go through with working with all the people. You have a digital agent to assist you. You don't have to speak to many people, right? It is doing the language part to you so well that there was a time people used to say, okay, talking to the customer and not able to understand the requirement. Now, no matter how tough the English is or what kind of a requirement is, I mean, you have a digital worker who is capable of understanding that very well, right? So you can take that and just go through that, you refine it and change it a little bit, and you are ready to go. So any of the application that is there that you can develop. And can you go back to the next slide in the
Yeah.
architecture? This is just telling you in the roughly. This is not talking about how this everything is there. It is just showing you the components. So you have an app generator and there is a backend. Obviously, you're going to store the data. Just give me a minute.
Yep.
Sorry about that. My power was going away. So this is there, and you have an app editor, obviously whatever the changes that is being there, and you have this uh, context service over there and the feedback service. So all these things are at the high level, at the abstraction level, that is showing you how the mentor is working, and everything is available through ODC portal. So you are not very far from, like, I mean, in O11 the way you do it, it's not like that. I mean, it is all in the portal. So this is it. I mean, I hope this is the biggest advantage that we can get. And this slide talks about all the models that is being used, and I think you are not limited, but all these things are currently being used, and you can do in addition to that security and data privacy, that's already taken care of. And governance is something at the moment you move from one to the other environment and publishing it, and so many other things are there that is already taken care of. And quality, as you said, like, I mean, you that is, the models are already designed based on the data that is over already there, on the best practices, the code bases are already there, so it is already high quality. Maybe it will reduce some of the review cycles that you are going to have, so that's the biggest advantage. So completely plus plus to mentor with all the new things that are available.
And when it will be available and how? So it will be available in like February 25, right? It will be available, so you can use it. For now, it is available to organizations or people who have requested for that, which is kind of limited, but yeah, it will be available by February 25th.
Okay. With that, we'll address some Q&A. So we have a lot of questions in the Q&A section. So would you like to take that up, Shubham?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That the chat.
In the Q&A section.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So there are three different sections, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this mentor can be used with both ODC and O11. So Mendra, for this, I guess it's clear that it is only available for ODC right now, ODC environment that we have, right? Then so whatever easiest question that we have, I'll going to answer it, and whatever technical depth question we have, I'm going to pass it to Ashish. Uh, okay, are we able to call the agent using Mentor? No, so we cannot directly call the agent using Mentor right now. That's not available. But you can use, as Ashish clearly mentioned, you can use events and then the workflow you can use, or by using ODC Studios, you can call your agents. Uh, And yeah, ODC is not available for public use, but they have launched a 10 days program where you can register and you will get an access for 10 days for ODC, right? You can try ODCs, you can create your application and all, but for 10 days you can access it.
Okay. There was a interesting question.
Mhm.
That is taking the data from Figma and Adobe Design. That is my question to OutSystem. I asked them also because right now the theme that is coming over there, and I think it is not there. But if I have to stretch my imagination, like I mean, AI needs to be trained, right? I mean, it should be, say for example, if you have not tried, I'm just telling you, if you give an image, screen image to Gemini Pro Vision and say, can you give me the CSS that has been used in this image and I want to modify, which I have done. Like I mean, it will give you a set of CSS and everything that is being used there, so I can easily take that. Then I have asked the next question, can you suggest me a better CSS then, because my intent is to, this people are from somewhere else in the world, those who do not like the colors and all this thing. It suggested me in CSS, and I tried to mix them up. So it was a lot of work for me in order to come up with something automated way of generative AI. So I think it is on the way. And also I have asked this question, and you can definitely take a Figma, and just for an R&D purpose, if you take a Figma and then Figma image, then try to come up with use a generative AI to interpret some meaning out of it. That is possible, but Figma is already giving you all the CSS that is available over there. So I do not see that getting directly integrated to by Mentor at this stage.
Okay, there was a question from Arshad. It was little long, but yeah, the summarization is like currently the mentor is creating a very simple application with very simple logic. But can he handle the complex logic or any API integration right now or with SQL query, right? Well, as per my knowledge, it cannot right now handle complex logic. It is there for basic logic that we have, right? External integration is possible, right? You can connect with your SQL external database that you have or Salesforce that you can integrate right now, which we have seen as well. But for complex logic, it's not right now not available or not
Uh,
ready yet.
when people ask me this question, I just ask them the question, what do you mean by complex? Because if you make something complex, I mean, I would say like, I mean, oh, I'm making a query which has several joins in it, right? And at the end of the day, I just struggle myself how to make it the performance right, how to put an index to it and all this thing. So complex business wise, if it is a complex, I mean, it could be simplified. And I would believe that it is the work at the beginning that needs to be done, how we segregate. Now, when you go to ODC, if you have seen, there are two things, application and the libraries, and the way it works with the container. We make it very straightforward. We have to, you are not making application with multiple modules like O11, right? Rather, we are saying, okay, these are the application for this purpose. That means in your mind, you are kind of putting a nice boundary. This is the application, this is what it is going to be doing. This is another application, and how they are going to talk to each other in order to execute a business process. How are they going to collaborate? Those are the things. We, being an architect, you have to stay away from something which looks complex to make it more simplified, and responsibility, breaking down the responsibility in such a way that it won't create in your going forward with the increase of the data or increase of something. It should not create any problem, because we have an habit of kind of introducing additional SQL queries and database experts into the picture. And after 3 years working in an application, the way the data increases, we all fall apart. And it comes back to you as an out system not being able to handle the data, which is rather, it's an architectural problem. But here, try to, I mean, try to mention the complexity in your requirement model, that this is what I was doing and this is what I'm doing. I mean, this is the complexity that I want to execute over there, and see how much that, because after all it's going to be a query or it's going to be an addition of an agent in order to simplify that. So I would like to address this way. Definitely a lot of modifications are going to come, but the approach should be how I'm going to break it down into smaller pieces and let it get executed, and so that my approach will be simplified and I will stick to the biggest um, performance thing that is that should not be affected.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So,
just one more question, answering to Sojan the question. What was the result of code quality for this leave management system? Right. So right now it says no records found. Let me show you right here. It says no results found, right? But after the next 2 hours, right, when the next analysis happened, right, when I tried, it was giving some warnings related to that. Okay, there is an entity which does not have a description, so minor, say, warning it was giving, but yeah, it was not major warning I was able to find in code call.
okay. So with that, I will. I would like to end the Q&A over here because we have further part of the session to complete, and I want the winners to take away the uh, gifts as well, the prizes. So yes. So meanwhile, I request Shubham and Ashish, if you could answer over the chat in the Q&A section, that would be very much grateful. So. Uh, uh, Maybe participants would get the answers over the chat, so that will be very much helpful for them. And I will take over the screen, and before that I request all of you to come on the camera just to take a picture and to post it in the social media, and to have and to get a chance to see your smiling faces. Okay. Yes, one more. Okay, thank you. Yes, let's move on to the next part of the session. So I'll share the screen back. Okay. So, in case if you want to have a look at the previous sessions or the current session which is happening now, so it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel of our user group. So, this is the QR code. If you want to subscribe, if you want to view the previous videos, you can go ahead and yeah. And if you want the link, I will put it in the chat. Okay, I will put it at the end, otherwise, for the interest of time. And yes, coming to the feedback in every session, your feedback really matters to us in order to improvise our sessions and to give you the best quality events, and to have more information, and it will help you. So I would request each and everybody to give your feedback and help us to improve. So I'll wait for a minute just to allow the participants to take the QR code and submit your feedback. Once you are done, I will be moving to the quiz. Okay, so with that, I will go for the quiz. One second. Yes. So we have one limitation with the quiz. So only 60 members can join in, and first come first serve. And you will be having the QR code here to scan in. And if you want the link to join, I'll just give you. Yes, here is the link to join, and I would request everybody to give the proper name to identify the winners, and it will be easy for us to distribute the prizes. So I would request, I don't know who is JPR over here, please give a appropriate name. Okay, I'll give one more minute. I see 32 join now. Again, there is a registration with AG.
Sorry, it's
So,
me. Indra.
yes, please give your full name so that it will be easy for us. Okay, so with that, we have close to 45, 44 members to play the quiz. I will start. Yes, you will be getting 20 seconds to answer each question. Okay, so I see 40 members, that is 83% of you have answered it correctly. And the winners Mansur, Rajashri, and Ram Prasad. Let's go to the next question. I see 30 members have given the right answer. Winners at the moment Rajashri, Ram Prasad, and Rahul. Let's move on. That's good. 30 members again have given the right answer. And the scoreboard now would be Rajashri, Ram Prasad, and Rahul again. Twenty-seven of you have given the right answer. Let's see the current scoreboard. Who is on the top? Vinod, Bharat, and Rahul. 27 of you have given the correct answer. Let's see the scoreboard now. It's Bharat, Masoor, and Rajashri. Oh, there are very less people have chosen the right answer this time. Bharat, Pedro, Jose. 23 of you have given the right answer. Jose, Pedro, and Bharat. 37 people has given the right answer. Pedro, Jose, and Bharat again. 40 of you have given the right answer. Next will be the last question. All the best to you guys. Pedro, Rajashri, Bharat at the top. How does Outsystems mentor you AI utilize machine learning to assist in the app creation process? Okay, there are 13 right answers. Let's see the final scoring. Congratulations, Rajashri, for the third place, Pedro on the second, and Vinod Kumar on the first.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all the winners, and I would request all the winners to stay in the call. Uh, okay, and I take this opportunity to thank you everyone to join in our session and make it a successful one. And thank you so much, Shubham and Ashish, for the
Thank
wonderful
you.
session. It was very informative. I hope it helped everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Shri Lakshmi, for having us here.
Thank
Yes.
you. A big thank you from Ashish to each and every one of you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. See you all again in the next event. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a
Bye,
good
guys.
rest of the day. So, yes, if we have our winners, I would request the winners to put in the details like your contact number and also your email ID to reach out in the chat or in the DM if you're not comfortable to share it in the chat. So, yeah, I have Rajashri, Pedro, and Vinod. Yes, all three of you. Yes, Bharat, it is only first three would get the prize. So, only in the masterclass sessions we will be having the, uh, we will be allowing 10 winners to get the prize. But